Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the D.R.O Show! I don't know if y'all seen it, but if you haven't, go check out the new Verzuz. L.O.X Dipset. You know what I'm talking about? As a fan of the culture, as a fan of hip-hop, and as a big fan of the L.O.X, which is my favorite group. You know what I'm talking about? Man, we got so much to unpack, so y'all just bear with me. First of all, the L.O.X completely destroyed everything the Dipset was even attempting to do. You know what I'm talking about? It was bad. It was really, really bad. You know what I mean? From the stage presence to the delivery to the selection of the songs to, every possible thing that you could rank them on. Man, L.O.X got the W in every single column. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying I'm not a Dipset fan. I'm not saying I'm not a Cam fan. Jim Jones, Jules Santana, like they do have some records that I've been fans of over the years. But when this got announced, this was the next Verzuz, I told everybody that I know, yo, shout out to all the homies. We've already talked about this. I told all of them, man, L.O.X got this one in the bag. They got this. But to actually see it play out, I must admit, I've watched quite a few of the Verzuz. I ain't seen them all, but I watched quite a few of them. This hands down was the best one. From showmanship, from stage presence, to song selection. You name it, it was in the show. It was kind of like watching wrestling, hip-hop show, and comedy all in the same breath. You know what I mean? Shout out to Styles, Chic, and Jadakiss. Jadakiss, you are the MVP. I must admit. Yo, again, I've been a big fan for a long time, but to see how they showed up and completely showed out and shut the whole shit down with bars, with straight up bars, straight up lyrics. It wasn't about the fashion. It wasn't about the links and the chains and the jewel. No. L.O.X brought those lyrics, man. L.O.X brought those bars, and they reminded everybody and anybody who you would try to have go against them in a Verzuz. It's so much deeper than the perception. It's all about the execution. It's all about the consistency. If you saw what I saw, then there's really no debate. I've seen so many memes, so many video responses, all that to this particular event, and I ain't seen one yet that's disputing what I'm saying. Nobody's on the fence about this. It was like, Alabama's my favorite football team, Roll Tide. It was like watching Alabama play D2 or D3 school and just completely watch them. You know what I mean? It was no competition to me. Let's start with just the overall performance. Now, as an artist myself, who's done numerous shows over the years, I know the importance of actually knowing your lyrics, actually having your rhymes memorized. And the L.O.X, the catalog is so big. They were performing records from way back in the day to more current ones, but they were doing it with no vocals behind them. Dipset, on the other hand, had vocals behind everything that they were doing, which was so confusing to me because it's like, wait a minute, you guys are very well known, very established in the game, in the business, and y'all from New York. You know better. You know better. Come on, man. Come on. I think one of my favorite statements made the whole show was made by Jada when he was joking with him, basically saying, man, I could have listened to this in the car on Apple Music. Y'all rhyming over your vocals. You cheating yourselves and you cheating the fans. A true MC knows, hey man, you gotta actually know your shit. That way, when it's time to deliver it, you don't need your backup vocals. Now, I'll admit, I have performed over my vocals before, just depending on the situation, but I actually know my verses. So sometimes it's actually kind of hard to tell. But Dipset made it really, really easy to point out what I'm saying, because at certain points, they weren't even rapping the song. This wasn't a show more so than an actual battle, and the L.O.X came through the battle, yo. They came through, and boy, straight up, when Jada dropped the verse over the Who Shot You off the old mixtapes, man, I damn near lost my mind. Now again, if you're a true fan, you know how long their catalog spans. First time I ever heard of L.O.X was in like 1996, 96, and it was before they was on Biggie shit, but they was on a Clue mixtape. I'm like, man, these dudes are hard. You know what I mean? You fast forward to 2021, they still some of the hardest out. Time has not stopped or changed that one bit. You know what I mean? The song selection. You know, Dipset has had some hits. I won't dispute that. Jules Santana's had some by himself, Jim Jones and Cam. And they've had some as a collective. But they ain't had as many as the L.O.X, man. I'm talking about the L.O.X catalog spans all the way back to the late 90s, all through the 2000s, all through 2010, all through 2020. Like, come on, man. Straight up. And they showcased all of that. They also were able to bob and weave between, all right, we're going to do album cuts. We're going to do bangers that everybody knows, but we're also going to do the mixtape shit for the diehard fans, for the true fans. And man, did they deliver. If I had to like really give an analysis, I would say, man, Jadakiss took the cake with it. You know what I mean? It was almost like he was running the whole show. Not to say that Styles and Sheik didn't come in and hold their own, but you could just tell that Jada was there to dismantle the Dipset. Oh my God. If you saw what I saw, I've already seen it 3 times. You know what I mean? I was chopping it up with my partner Will the other day. Shout out to Will, you know what I mean? He'll tell you the same. He's actually from New York. And he'll tell you, hey man, the feeling, the essence of what we saw was New York hip hop at its finest. Along with the antics. I brought up wrestling a little while ago because, you know, seeing shit like Cam kick styles or seeing them pull Jules Santana's headband down, throw it on the ground. I almost feel like they had a conversation beforehand and, you know, it was kind of agreed upon that they was going to go that route and they was just going to have straight fun with it. But minus the antics and all that, back to the bars. Yo, there was a scene when Jim Jones and like he was about to do the ball and joint, bit down in the crowd and somebody put the little link chain on him or whatever. And they was joking with him about it like, yo man, what's this about? You know what I mean? And I felt that because at the end of the day, it's not about the clothes or the jewels or the cars or the money. It's not about that when it comes to the actual music. It's not about that when it comes to the actual bars. Matter of fact, let's have a better conversation. There's so many artists that are considered top tier who don't feel like they would have to get down in the verses for whatever reason. You know what I mean? The M's, the Drakes, the J's, the Kendricks, the Coles. The list goes on. But after watching that, I don't feel like there's an excuse. If you are in the culture of hip hop, if you are top tier, you should be required to do a versus. Because again, it's not about the money. It's not about your net worth. It's not about your chain. It's not about how fly your cars are. No, this shit is hip hop, man. This shit is about bars. You know what I mean? And I would love to see Drake and Wayne go at it. I'd love to see M and J go at it. I'd love to see Jay and Nas go at it. You know what I mean? I almost feel like us as people in the culture who definitely love it, we should really put it out there like, yo, no more sitting on the sidelines watching this shit. If you in the sport, no matter what level you at, you need to compete. If the L.O.X didn't show us anything last night, yo, you need to compete, man. Cats gotta stop making excuses like, well, you know what I'm saying, I'm too big or I've got these endorsements. Man, fuck your endorsements and fuck your deal. If you in this shit for real, you should have been required. You should be required to go head to hell with somebody for the love of the sport, man. You know what I mean? L.O.X really brought the energy. For like damn near 2 hours, it was just straight energy. Rhyme after rhyme, bars after bars. One of my favorite highlights is when Styles walks up to the whole crew of Dipset and spit his verse for Reservoir Dogs a cappella. And he didn't write it for them. That verse is old as shit. He didn't write it for them, but for the event, it was so fitting what he was saying. And I quote, I don't give a fuck who you are, so fuck who you are. I don't care about your pretty bitch watching your car. I don't care about your block or whoever you shot. I don't care about your album or whenever it dropped. I don't care about your past if I did or would have asked. I'm too busy lighting dro with a whole lot of hash. Bars is rap shit. I'm 10 steps ahead of niggas shooting backwards just for practice. Come on, man. Straight up bars. I feel like a lot of artists in the game at any level, when they get to a certain level of fame or they have a certain amount of followers, a certain amount of endorsements, then they're able to survive and thrive in the game off of that. They don't feel like they have to compete. After last night, Nah, that's not acceptable no more. I need to see everybody who's top tier, who sold 1 million, billion, gazillion records. I need to see all of them going in. You know what I mean? Because the L.O.X are well respected. The L.O.X have worked with some of everybody in the game, up north, down south. And side note, the L.O.X birthed a lot of the artists that came after them as far as their flow. You know what I'm talking about? Rick Ross, Jeezy, Fabulous, Beanie Siegel, a lot of State Property. What I mean by that is, if you listen to the consistency in how, especially Styles and Jada, they haven't really changed their format up too much, but they've been very, very consistent with it, and the bars and what they're saying as far as the content has always been on point. So they're able to, you know, keep the flow kind of the same, but hit you with some shit that's had you like, wow. You know what I mean? I remember when Fabulous first came out, and I know that they've worked with Fab, but listen to how he flowed. Listen to the setup. You know what I mean? Like, it's like some punch, some. It's, you know, pretty standard. I feel like the L.O.X, they fathered that flow, and I don't feel like they get the credit for it. I also feel like, as far as the back and forth shit, nobody in the industry is touching them. Nobody. You know what I mean? I've done back and forth flows with people before. I understand the intricacies that go into actually sitting down and pinning a line that's gonna bounce off the next man's line. Man, that shit is not easy. They do it effortlessly. They finish each other's lines and each other's bars effortlessly. And to see it live, oh man, they had Madison Square Garden going nuts. You know what I mean? Honestly, I don't even think there was a point when Dipset had any leverage. None. For them, it was all about the image, the glamour, the glitz, how their chains looked, how they looked. Man, fuck how you look when it comes to the bars, man. This is rap. This is hip hop.